Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Justin Cox, of course, the one of the members of the of course, one of the three of the Indy Boys Podcast. Of course, we had Tristan on last week. How's it going?
Man, I'm doing all right. It's a very stormy, windy day outside, and so we had to get on here and do this a little earlier than expected, but it's all right. That's all right. So, just to make sure power doesn't go out or anything. But yeah, today I'm doing pretty good. I just got some homework done not too long ago, and then later tonight I'm going to play some soccer. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Hey man. Yeah. So, did you enjoy the farewell of Auto Club Speedway, or at least the 2.0 version of it?
I mean, yes, I enjoyed it, but I hate it because Auto Club's gone, man. Auto Club has been one of my favorite tracks for as long as I can remember watching NASCAR. So like I hate that it's bittersweet that it's gone. Like the graphic that I made the other day, like that's why I put like in the sky or whatever. I made a graphic and I put the Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick battle, the Denny Hamlin Logano, Kyle Busch incident, and then Gordon's first win with him kissing the trophy and stuff. And then in the background, like on the mountains behind Auto Club Speedway, I put like farewell Auto Club, and it's kind of bittersweet. But I enjoyed the race. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very
Did you enjoy the Xfinity race?
Yes, I love the Xfinity race, and I love that it was under the lights to finish out the era of Auto Club, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think the Xfinity race was pretty good. I was kind of half asleep towards the end of it, though. I'm not gonna lie, but I did enjoy it. I was hoping Sammy Smith was gonna win, and he got caught up in that late race wreck.
Yeah.
And because he was one of my picks from the podcast this past week, so I was kind of upset, but he almost won that.
Yeah, I picked Cole Custer, and he cost me like tons and tons of points. So,
Dang.
yeah, but somebody had the thing is, for people that don't know, when we do the preview show picks every week, it's everyone has to pick a different driver, and it's like there's an order that we pick it in. It's basically like, so I picked first, so I have to pick last this week. And then you just work your way up. And so,
okay.
I mean, I had a good week. I had Kyle Busch winning.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I think for Cup, I ended up picking Logano and Larson. And Logano was up there at the front. He just never was fast enough to be in the front, I don't think.
No.
And then Larson had his engine trouble and stuff, so I don't think he ever really rebounded from that.
And Larson was fast, but it's just like, it's like when they fix the issues, it's like, oh, he's just like 15 laps down or something.
Yeah, pretty much. So you didn't have a chance to rebound.
Yeah, but and then Kyle Busch winning at RCR, it's like, and then it's like everyone cheered for Kyle Busch. But the thing is, it's like,
I know.
But here's I think the big difference with that. I think once I think it's like, oh, we feel bad for Kyle Busch. Oh yeah, it's just like I think there's a lot more people that don't like Toyota that don't.
Yeah, I think that's what it is too. Because I was at my friend's house yesterday watching the race with him, and Kyle Busch won, and he was like, "Wow, I'm surprised he didn't get booed." And I was like, "Well, if you think about it, he's with RCR. RCR had Dale Earnhardt, and he was a Toyota driver, and a lot of people don't like Toyota. So I think a lot of that has an effect into it. And plus, like over the years, Kyle Busch has matured a lot, and so I think a lot of people are coming around to liking Kyle Busch now. And like his social media presence, and like he posts like all of his parties and stuff, and he's like just real goofy or whatever outside the track. And I think that's personally what got me to be like, I guess, like a fan of Kyle Busch, if you want to say that. Because I love seeing that dude party. He's amazing. I want to party with him one time. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I know Kyle Busch fan. I know Kyle Busch fans have always waited. I know the biggest Kyle Busch fan ever, Dalton Good, was on basically doing his thing. So I bet he was excited to see that A car back in victory lane. But
I'm sure.
What impressed you in the Xfinity race?
In the Xfinity race, honestly, I want to say Austin Hill, because I don't feel like, I'm not saying he did bad last season at anything but super speedways, but I don't feel like he performed as well as he could have last season. And I feel like yesterday he performed pretty good at Auto Club. So like just seeing his run really impressed me, honestly.
Yeah, the thing is, like, for me, it's like, seeing the Gibbs cars up there. Sammy Smith was was solid.
Yeah, Sammy Smith. Yeah.
Him and John Hunt, I thought they were going to wreck each other at one point.
Yeah.
But seeing those two up there, and then Sam Mayer too. I mean, the thing is, he was like, there was like at the beginning of the race, he was really struggling on restarts. I don't know what it was, and then
I thought in the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then he worked his way up, and I don't think he could have caught Nemechek, but it was it's still a solid run, tied his career best. So I would be very shocked if that one team does not win this year, because there are the places where I think he could win.
Yeah, Sam is definitely developing as a driver, and he's definitely one of the people that shocked me yesterday too. Like you said, he did have a bunch of restart trouble or whatever, but honestly, I think his car was a little too loose, because you would see him come out of the corners maybe 3 or 4 a few times, and he would be on the edge, trying to catch the car or whatever. And I think if his car is a little tighter towards the end, he probably could have caught John Hunter. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I just don't think he wanted to overdrive it and spin and just lose second, So
yeah, he was a solid pick. Remember, he finished 6th last year at Auto Club, and then of course he finished this weekend. Allgaier was Allgaier recovered from a lot. Josh Berry had an interesting race.
Yeah, he was kind of like Corey LaJoie in the Cup race. He was kind of hitting everybody, in my opinion, I think. But no, I think Berry still had a pretty decent race, but I think he did have a lot of contacts that were kind of unnecessary with some people. So
yeah. Hey, how about let's go back to Cup. Spire Motorsports. Ooh. They were good.
Dude, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Corey LaJoie is up in the top 10, top 20 most of the day. That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, Stenhouse did. I mean, JTG, of course, they won the Daytona 500 last week. Mm-hmm. And then, they finished 12th, I think. Yeah. So, solid.
I think for Spire, they're starting to – I think their biggest thing was it's kind of like in Ferrari and F1. They were kind of in this – old-timey mindset. They need to do it this way, but I think they're starting to develop this sense of, times are changing, we need to start doing it this way now. And I think that's what's starting to lead to their success this season so far.
We'll get to F1. We'll get to F1 in a minute.
Okay.
I'm asking about Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
You get this win, and because the thing is, it's like you're kind of starting to see the guys that were up there. I mean, the conclusion was, I think the Chevrolets were fast. It was just a lot of, obviously they're showing. I mean, we saw, the guys that were up at the Daytona 500 last week. I mean, Kyle Busch was up there. Ross Chastain was up there. Suarez was up there. The guys that guys were up there. Chase Elliott was up there. I think there was only one Toyota that finished in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it Denny?
It was Denny.
Yeah.
So Harvick finished 5th. I think the 4 teams, I think the 4 team was strong. I'm not sure about the rest of Stewart-Haas, but
didn't Chase Briscoe get lapped yesterday?
Yeah, Chase Briscoe.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that was interesting to see. Because honestly, I thought Stewart-Haas and even Chase Briscoe was going to be better this season.
Yeah, I think you could. I think the 14 team's going to get better.
Okay.
He just ran into some really bad luck. So I think, and also Ryan Preece has ran into a ton of bad luck too. I think I think you're going to see some more good runs out of the 41 team.
Well, in our early prediction, way too early playoff predictions on our Indy Boys channel that we did, I actually have Ryan Preece in my playoffs. So, yeah. Yeah. He's
really good at Nashville. So obviously that was a truck and not a cup car, but
yeah. I just think Ryan Preece has deserved a pretty a good ride in general anyway, because he's a great driver in my honest opinion. So I'm a very big Ryan Preece believer. You know what I'm saying? So
all right, let's transition. Of course, NASCAR's at Vegas this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but F1 and IndyCar back this week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's like I think it starts with F1, then IndyCar, then NASCAR. So it's going to be really interesting to see what that is. Let's start with F1. What are we expecting this? I mean, I know you did your official livery rankings. They were pretty good. They're lined up with my good buddy Will Stone's livery rankings. So it's it's just Yeah, by the way, with the Will Stone official livery rankings, which is trademark. That's just good. He'll be back on here this week, I think, too.
Okay.
So what are we expecting from F1? Are we going to see a different Ferrari team? Is Red Bull going to dominate? And are we going to see Mercedes come back?
Okay. So actually very interesting because this is something I've kind of talked about a little bit in the podcast in the past. And even tomorrow, when we record, we're going to do our constructor rankings live on the podcast tomorrow. So if you guys want to check that out, join in and chat with us about that a little bit, go ahead. But basically, my whole prediction from watching preseason testing, which I feel like you can't really make a great prediction from preseason testing sometimes because it is what it is, testing. Yeah, exactly. So like a lot of people are like, oh my God, Aston Martin, and everything right now. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I think they'll be maybe, I'm not gonna say they're best of the rest, but I think they're gonna be a few steps behind probably Alpha or McLaren. But I think Alpine's gonna be best of the rest. Mercedes, I do believe is going to take a big step forward. That is my prediction. I feel like we're going to have a three-way title fight, but I don't feel like they're going to be as fast as Ferrari or Red Bull throughout the entire season. I feel like they're just going to be there in the sense of if Ferrari or Red Bull have like an engine failure or maybe one of them get together, crash out, they lose positions or something or get some damage. I feel like Mercedes is going to be there to take the advantage rather than be an actual competitor. But I feel Ferrari is going to turn things around with Fred Vasseur becoming a team principal. He's great. I love Fred Vasseur. I love Matteo Binotto, but I feel like his his view on Ferrari and their strategy and how the team should develop was very old timey. You know what I'm saying? Old timey F1. And I feel like to develop as an F1 team, you have to be with the times. And I don't feel like Matteo Binotto was exactly there. So I think Fred Vasseur coming in is going to be a great improvement for Ferrari, honestly.
I still want to see Ferrari because it's going to be
fun. Yeah. No, for sure. I want to see Ferrari do good too because it's been a while since we've seen Ferrari on the top podium, the winningest team in F1 history. Like, come on, we need to see Ferrari win here soon. But yeah, and then I think Red Bull is just going to be Red Bull. They're going to be pretty quick. I thought honestly maybe they might be hurt from the 10% aero decrease or the 10% wind tunnel decrease from the off season for their penalty for breaching the budget cap or whatever. And honestly, it doesn't look like they really lost a step. Honestly, I just think that they kind of talked about a little bit on preseason testing is more of an evolution rather than revolution. They're just evolving the car rather than trying to revamp everything. And I feel like that's what a lot of teams are getting wrong right now. They're not they're not expanding on their previous season's car. They're not expanding on their previous developments. They keep trying to revamp everything, make everything new and different. And I don't know. I just don't think things are working, and I think that's where Red Bull is going exactly perfect on right now.
Okay, so let's talk about the motorsport you know the most, IndyCar. So they start this weekend, and I think it's going to be a really interesting season. And don't forget, part 2 of our IndyCar preview on this channel with our IndyCar expert, my good friend Colin of the Twin Checkers site. So we talked about the first half of teams alphabetically, and then we're going to also talk about the second half. So Penske, Carpenter, Rahal, and all that. So we'll go more to that. But who are you keeping an eye on this season?
Okay, so you definitely have to keep an eye on, of course, your big names: Chip Ganassi, Penske, McLaren, and Andretti. Like those are teams that you have to keep your eye on. But I think now that Juncos has a full season under their belt, or maybe close to two-ish full seasons under their belt, Juncos is going to be a pretty good team. That's what I'm thinking, especially bringing in Augustine, because I honestly believe Augustine is a pretty good driver. And Callum, of course, is a very adaptable driver. So he's pretty good at driving any car that he needs to, however it's handling and set up to. So I believe that both of them together, they're going to share some really good data, and it's going to make for Juncos to have some really good results. I could be completely wrong, but that's my prediction. So, but Juan Carlos and honestly, Ray Hall, Lindemann, and Lanigan, I think is going to have a better season with flipping Lundgaard and Harvey around.
Yeah, I think so. Got to talk to Christian a couple times last year. It just seems like he's been putting solid runs together, and I think that Jack's going to have more of a solid season as well. And I think Graham could get some solid results too. And
Yeah.
really excited to see what Catherine Legg can do in the 500. It'll be it was good to talk with her last week. So it was solid there. Hey, what about Coin? How do you think they're gonna do?
Oh, of course. Del Coin is gonna do amazing, I think. Well, I mean like that with no bias or anything, because like we're friends with Stingray and David or whatever. But I just think that with Dale Coyne, like especially the improvements they made last season, giving David top 10 solid results, top 15 solid results, even David getting his first podium in his rookie season, I think we're gonna see a very good season from Stingray Rob. Because Stingray is a very good driver. He may not be the most proven quite yet, but I think he's a very good young talent. He's just going to need a little bit of time to develop. So, but David, I think we're going to see a very good season out of David next season. He's very hungry, very, very revamped, very ready to go for the season. And he's been training. He's been doing a lot of things. So I think both of them are going to have a pretty decent season this coming season.
Yeah. How do you think Kirkwood's going to do at Andretti? And also, how do you think Arrow McLaren is going to do?
Okay, so Kirkwood at Andretti. I got a lot of flack for saying this, but I don't think Kirkwood is going to do as great as everybody thinks. I'm just going to be honest. I think he performed pretty decent at AJ Foyt, but I feel like Andretti's kind of had this aura over them the last couple of seasons, and it's kind of held them back because you look at Herta's results, you look at Grosjean's results, you look at Rossi's results, and even DeFrancesco's. You look at the results. I just don't think everybody is putting Kirkwood kind of on a, I guess, like a pedestal for lack of a better term. But I just think that Kirkwood's not going to perform as well as everybody thinks he's going to, in my honest opinion. And I would love to see Kirkwood do good, but just my honest opinion, I don't think he's going to outshine the way that everybody thinks he's going to. And then who else did you mention? McLaren, Aaron McLaren. Yes. I would love to see Pato win a lot of races this season and maybe even the championship. Because Pato, I feel, is very hungry and ready. And I think he can be a deserving champion. I just feel like McLaren needs to do more with. I think Rossi coming over is going to help a lot of things too with that whole camp in general. But I feel that McLaren hasn't necessarily given everything to Pato quite yet, and they kind of need to. You know what I'm saying? And so with that like being said, I feel like that's the same way with Felix Rosenquist, because this has kind of been my take over the past couple of seasons. Because I remember maybe last season I was on Push the Pass podcast with Derek. I can't remember his last name, but I was on his podcast and he asked me about Felix Rosenquist, and I feel like over the course of Felix Rosenquist's career, he has not had the correct people around him. Because I feel like Felix Rosenquist is a very good driver, but I feel like the people around him and the teams around him have not given him the best equipment to be there. And I feel like they're going off their own personal judgment rather than Felix's judgment. And that's kind of my personal take. So
So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. And then yeah, well, let's finally talk about NASCAR at Vegas. Of course, the trucks, so we'll see how they do. Xfinity and Cup. What are you most looking forward to out in Vegas?
Vegas, I gotta be looking forward to the Cup Series, of course, because the Gen 7 has proven mile and a half are safe. Like I just think that the racing has been phenomenal with the Gen 7s on like mile and a halfs, Auto Club, 2.5 milers, and stuff like that. And I'm just excited for Cup. And Cup, I'm excited to see. I don't know who my predictions are going to be this week, actually. I haven't thought about that quite yet. I'll probably go. My prediction would probably be Kyle Busch again. Actually, I did say that yesterday. I was talking to my friend. I'm gonna go Kyle Busch repeats, honestly, and then I'm looking forward to Kyle Busch in the Xfinity Series with College Racing as well.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be in the truck too, so he'll be in all three.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is in trucks. Yeah, I forgot.
And
Wow,
yeah,
he's gonna have a full season or a full
yeah,
weekend.
I'd love to see him take all three. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
back.
awesome. Yeah, he said I'm back. But I think that the win this past week is gonna give him a lot of motivation and a lot of momentum going throughout the rest of the season. And honestly, I think he has a very good chance to win this coming weekend too. So
Yeah, it should be fun. By the way, before we let you go, what's coming up on the show this week?
oh, this week, so we are doing our F1 constructors rankings. We're gonna do predictions as always. Talk about some motorsport media news. Give our discussion opinions on those, and then preview Las Vegas this coming week and preview F1 and IndyCar coming back. And that's pretty much it this week. So it's gonna be a pretty packed episode because we're gonna have to start a little earlier tomorrow. We're starting at 7 for our live stream. So yeah, that's pretty much all we're gonna cover this week, and it's gonna be a very fun episode. I think everybody should stop through and say hi and talk to us in the chat a little bit. So yeah.
All right. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And best of. We'll have you on again sometime.
Yeah.